This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
You are listening to Lucha Afterground.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lucha Afterground, the premier Lucha Underground after show.
That's us.
That's us. My name is Max.
My name is Travis.
How's it going, Travis?
Solid. Yeah, just had, we're early for, I mean, it's not really early. It's 1 o'clock almost, but moving slow today because the daughter's away, so it's like
ripped it up last
birthday
night?
Weekend. No, I just spent a lot of time cleaning up to make the place really nice for my wife.
Oh, good.
So we can have a more relaxing weekend. So that's why I'm moving a little slow.
Cool.
But we just had some delicious crackers that Max threw up here that have given me the fuel I need.
Mm-hmm. Made in Vancouver.
Awesome.
News and notes. I don't really have anything, man. I guess Meltzer buried Lucha Underground in this week's Observer. Did you read that? Or see it or hear it?
I didn't read I didn't get to that part. I read his bit on Goldberg. I had heard him talk about it, and he was kind of just echoing what I had said as a general thing, is that nobody cares anymore. And
about I think he was, when what I had read specifically, he's talking about the championship and how somehow they either never made the championship this meaniful thing, or that they have never that it had that and since lost it. And I can kind of sense that a little bit. I mean, because it's this underground fighting ring, right? And so we don't really have, with other professional wrestling, it's, you have the template of like boxing or MMA, so you can kind of understand, like, okay, but people want to become the champion, not necessarily just for pride, but also for all the other like monetary rewards that come along with it. And so it's something that everybody should be pursuing. But that doesn't necessarily translate so easily in my mind when I'm watching Lucha Underground. I'm not really sure what I don't really know why Sexy Star even comes to the temple. What is the point of, like, why does she bother?
Well, I mean, it's all goes to this war of the 7 Aztec tribes.
But so I understand why those characters, the characters who are linked to that come.
But like maybe she's like is very familiar with this war and can see how it's going to affect humanity and women in particular. So she just has to go there and do her best to do it just like, and on her own. That's her thing. Like,
maybe they need to be a little bit more upfront with the details of the Aztec War and what the implications are. Why this temple is a battleground.
Also on to Wrestling Observer, Alvarez and Sempervive had a really extended conversation about it. And they talked about that the difficult balance of being a TV show and a wrestling show, and when are you supposed to kind of change your
your perception? When do you watch this as wrestling, as like an athletic competition, and when do you watch it as this can't be like sci-fi TV show? And
we've talked about, and I'm sure we'll talk about it today, that times when it works and times when it doesn't. It's a tough balance to find. And I guess what they were basically suggesting is just pick one and go with it. But I don't know if that's, I think this is just the nature of this beast that they're trying to tame here, that they're going for. It's always going to have vignettes that are great, and then matches that are so-so, and then vignettes that are so-so, and matches that are great. So what can you do?
And isn't that, I mean, I don't think it's fair to like point to these guys and say, oh, because they're inconsistent in that way, that they are somehow failing, because every wrestling promotion has that same problem. And in fact, I would say that Lucha Underground has a much greater success rate in both regards compared to
per capita.
Absolutely.
It's just I think because of the production values and because of like how the expectations of their audience in terms of going with them for storylines, it's more glaring when one of those vignettes doesn't click, or when one storyline doesn't requires you to kind of not necessarily suspend disbelief or just kind of go with it.
Maybe the Marty the Moth Sexy Star kidnapping, for example.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
By almost concealing the details, it made it worse in my mind.
Agreed.
Because I'm projecting all sorts of horrible things into it.
Anyways, yeah. So it's, it's getting talk right now. And the other thing I should mention, Alvarez and Sempervive both said at the end, we really like this show. We really, really like this show. And you can tell he's like, even if it wasn't my job, I'd still watch it. So it's just, I guess... I
just worry that it's being held to an unfair standard.
And
if this was the presidential debates, this is Hillary Clinton. Okay, she has to be perfect.
Yes,
she has to be absolutely perfect in order to win the debate. I think that's Trump just has to not be terrible.
Yes,
in order to win the debate.
You're making me feel gross. I watch wrestling to get away from that, man.
Sorry.
Where there's like a sense of justice.
Oh, geez. Okay, be careful. Be careful.
Yeah. So yeah, shall we get going here?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's all I got. Let's go for it.
Lucha Underground Season 3, Episode 12. Really extended recap here. Went all the way back to Aztec Warfare 2 up to 3, kind of showing the reign of Matanza. We see Dante Fox and Killshot, Pentagon and Black Lotus's story, Johnny Mundo and Angelico banging his leg in the car door, and more of his stuff with Dario and how that's just like... Gosh, these guys do not like each other. It goes back a long way, and it's good. I like it. And finally, the Aztec Warfare 3 result with Sexy Star. That brings us to the first segment, and here we go. Finally, we're getting to see the Rabbit Tribe. It's their last vignette, but they're closer. They're kind of dancing around.
Oh, yeah.
We see a carrot.
Yes, I know. As soon as I saw the carrot, I was like, no.
What the fuck?
Why?
This is what I mean. Like, I'm a little...
you know what they could have had? Nunchucks that were like shaped like carrots.
Maybe.
And then I would have been okay.
Maybe.
Or if the carrot was completely white or completely black, like the root, the part you eat is white, and the prongs were black.
Fantastic. Much better. Much better. I love it. Yeah, it's just like... Yeah, there's something like that's like too much creative freedom at that time. You got to have people just kind of reeling it in. I do like that they're kind of going for something here, but this almost, and with their match that followed, it almost feels like might be able to pinpoint this as I don't want to say it, but a shark jump.
No, don't say that.
No,
that's too.
I know. I'm just worried. Anyways,
I am also very like anxious and apprehensive about the Rabbit Tribe and the future of the Rabbit Tribe, and I didn't really know what to make of them before, and I don't know what to make of them now. Yeah, the carrot. Let's just put it into perspective. It's just a carrot.
Yes.
Okay, so let's not just say this is not working because they happen to have a carrot in their vignette. But it was so jarring.
Yeah. You're just like
that.
What?
It totally took me out of it.
Yeah, I was just, what? That was what I said.
I know. And then at one point, Paul London when he's in his narration over that vignette, he talks about how El Bunny will lead the way. And I was like, that's also a little weird.
Yeah,
right? But it's all.
It's meant to be the surrealist kind of absurdism.
Yeah, and there's definitely like it's a Mad Hatter thing going on. The Right Way Rabbit, Alice in Wonderland, psychedelics. Sure.
It does remind us at the very end, the last thing he said about being all these fun-loving, goofy weirdos, but said that they will stand by the tribe. And then the last thing was, even if it leads me to war, kind of thing. So it's reminding us that they're involved in that.
Yeah, man. Okay, the vignette itself is fine, just more of kind of the same. The match itself, I guess. I don't know. What do you want to?
It's coming up here. I mean, we gotta enter the temple and talk about.
Yeah. Okay, can we? So we enter the temple. How come the band did not get a shout out?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Because this is the band,
by far the best band.
This is the band. Should be the house band.
Yeah. Always.
It should be always them, and then maybe on special occasions you can have a bigger band
come
in and replace them. But but you cannot have this band. The guy plays a conch shell.
Yeah.
And you don't even put up a nameplate for these guys?
Unreal. And you got extended performances from them like twice in the show too, and the crowd was like loving it. You can
never tell if the crowd is actually
that's a good point.
it.
It's a good point. But that's the energy that I would want to have walking into the temple. That kind of boom, boom, doo. It's like it's like almost like our maybe we're biased because it's similar to our opening theme music.
That's possible.
I just like that
but
kind
I chose that theme song because it matches it matches the aesthetic and the feeling of the show. It's got a darkness about it, intrigue. It's called Carnival Intrigue. The track.
Great. Again, should we skip it? I mean, there was a chick on the side. I almost had. I was thinking of a song. Yes, chick on the side. Like it just doesn't have the same. I was trying to write something to Usher's Confessions. I don't know.
No, I'd say we're ticking. We've taken one step closer to the end of Man in the Wedge, and let's wait to see if there's a real character there next week, and if next week,
or like it is possible, it could be this woman in leather. With black glasses, and she was all in black. She was just she could move in, is what I'm suggesting. She's a candidate.
I don't know, man. I've stopped looking for
that was pretty gross. It was like, just disheartening. That's what I mean. Anyways.
Okay, so Man in the Wedge is on the back burner.
Yeah.
Let's find out what happens next week.
First match for the Trios Championships. It's Paul London, Mala Suerte, and Saltadore. Saltador.
I liked immediately when they came out. I was like, "Wait, this is for the championship? Like these guys just show up."
Yeah.
But then Stryker sort of justifies it. Like this is based on Paul. This is not Paul London playing a. I mean, it's Paul London playing a character, of himself, sort of a blend. But it's not like he's playing somebody else. They justify it by saying, this is Paul London's professional reputation that has allowed him to come in and immediately get this match, which I was okay with.
It was a nice touch. Yeah. So they have their goofy entrance. As I wrote down, Paul London is going for it. He's going for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. He is committed.
Yeah. Yeah, I say that. I think I have that written down at another point in the match. What is it?
Yeah, exactly. What is it?
Yeah.
What is it? What is their motivation? I don't know.
Maybe that's part of that's what they'd say, but there's something... that we're cautious. I think that's the biggest thing. And this didn't really...
I'm very cautious.
Yeah, and it didn't instill a hope, this first match. Let's say that. To me, anyways.
Yeah, there was a couple of moments. There was two Rabbit Tribe moments, maybe three even, that I was like, okay, maybe. But I certainly think that this was a fantastic match on the side of Phoenix, Aerostar, and Drago.
But they were barely in it. It was totally a showcase for the Rabbit Tribe for most of it and their antics.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, so this got me, when I was watching this got me thinking about who is these guys in the Rabbit Tribe. So we had thoughts about it.
Yeah. Mr. Cisco is one of them, right?
Mr. Cisco is one of them. Yeah. Okay. Well, I just said it, but if you don't want to know, if it's going to ruin your enjoyment of the show, just skip ahead by 15
we had kind of mentioned that before.
Yeah, we had thought.
Yeah.
But I can confirm.
Okay.
So this leads to answer the question of who is the guy in the checkers. We have to go back and we have to get confirmation on who actually were the disciples of death.
Yeah.
So, Trav, pop quiz. What were the names of all three disciples of death?
Sinestro del Muerte. Barrio Negro.
Yes, Barrio Negro.
And oh God! As soon as you say it, I'm gonna.
I didn't. When I read it, I was like, "Oh,
what was it?"
It's Trece.
Oh, yeah. No, I would not.
Yeah. Okay, so Barrio Negro, which actually I translated it. It means black neighborhood. That seems weird.
Barrio might be it's something different. I don't know. It's Argenis, right?
It is Argenis. Sinestro de la Muerte. Any guesses?
No.
El Mariachi Loco. You might remember him from season 1, and I believe he was murdered by Matanza off screen.
Okay.
In the comic book.
Okay.
And then Trece was Ricky Mandel. Mandel. So, of these three, Who do you think is the checkerboard guy?
Well, I thought it was Argenis.
It is not Argenis.
No? Mm-mm. Is it? It's not Ricky Mandel?
It's not Ricky Mandel. So it's El Mariachi Loco. Here I thought that he had just been one little blip on the radar, but he's been around this whole time.
Yeah.
And he's back again.
Cool.
Anyways, a little divergent there.
Yeah. So anyways, the three surround them, Melissa, and they start doing the ring around to Rosie. And this is again where I'm not sure. Vampiro says, but Vampiro did say this is an offer to the gods, so maybe there could be some sort of method to the madness.
I don't mind. Actually, I think the ring around the Rosie is like the one thing they do that makes that is like chimes with their sort of psychedelic.
Okay. Like when the guitar music kind of clicked in out of nowhere. You didn't notice that in the second time when they did it in the match? Like, it was kind of like, I don't know what it was. It's like, yeah, I guess so. Like closer to a sitar.
I did, and it was lower. Right?
Yes, yeah.
It wasn't mixed properly.
No, that's what it felt like.
What is going on with the editing in this episode?
I don't know.
They didn't put the nameplate up for the band. Yeah. The audio mix on their special music.
Yeah. Hashtag the little things. So here, I know this was exciting because I know that we've been seeing lots of. I've been paying attention, Max.
Okay.
There's been lots of different Drago tongues, and today, so I know there's been a blue tongue, a red tongue, his standard black tongue. A kind of a a white, like a baby blue tongue, and then one that was kind of like, I think we described it like the inside of like a mollusk. Just his tongue was like, it was like this white and purple and blue. But today it looked like his tongue, like it was the first time I think we've seen his tongue this season. And it came out and it looked like, I would say like a dark indigo. So I don't know if we're going to add this to our list of Drago tongues.
Trav, you've confused the tongue with the actual color of his gear. Everything you just said about his tongue is actually applied to his gear. His tongue has remained the same the whole time. Yes,
I haven't.
See, he started with a baby blue gear, and then he had one match in red gear, which I'd like to see him bring back.
Yeah.
And then he brought out the black gear, which we see most often, which he has the cool wings for.
Yeah.
And then we have seen him come out in a special like white and blue number. And then there was one that was like an abalone shell sort of pattern, like an oil slick on the street kind of. And then that's pretty much it. There's been rumors of a yellow, gold, green, these ones, but these are unsubstantiated.
See, I thought I'd seen a yellow and green tongue too.
I wish.
Yeah. I guess
would be amazing if
you might be right. You might be right. I thought it was the tongues. When I saw the tongue, I was like, no, Max had mentioned this. But now that you do say it, I think it was the gear. You're right.
Obsessed with tongues.
Are those shoulder pads new? That's a shoot.
No,
that's a shoot.
Shoulder pads are not new.
Okay. Paul London, at this point, how old is he? Do we know?
Yeah, when he takes off his sunglasses, there are some corn crow's feet on the old eyes there.
Yeah,
which it's totally fine. Whatever. Mm-hmm. It almost works in a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing also I want to mention is just how it's shocking, like how comfortable Phoenix and Aerostar and Drago appear in their gear. They've got the weirdest gear.
Sure. Yeah.
In wrestling. Maybe not Phoenix.
Maybe not Phoenix, yeah.
But they come out and they're just so like, you know, it's just awesome. It's a second skin at this point, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that occurred to me because of how, I wouldn't say that the other guys, the Rabbit Tribe, felt uncomfortable in their gear, but it certainly didn't seem, you could almost sense that it wasn't, them or something. Like
yeah. I know what you're saying. Something like it. Anyways, Paul London hit a nice move off the outside of the ropes that kind of suited his character, that kind of backwards push off. Oh, God,
that was awesome.
That was nice.
He got so much height on that. And it was only from like the second rope. He almost went over backwards. It was a dangerous spot, I thought.
Then they go inside and they have Phoenix and the two Paul London and checkerboard looking Mafk holding him in the one corner, and they just kept going back further and further.
That was good.
You liked it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
That was the one part. I was like, okay, maybe these guys are sort of like a dastardly comedy, like they're playing around, they're having fun. Okay. That was like pretty much the one part of the whole thing where I was like, okay, with the ring around the Rosie, and they do little things like this. this makes them unique, and this makes them feel unpredictable, and they're there for shits and giggles, and that's basically it. Yeah. So that actually was the one part where I was like, okay, I'm beginning to get into this. It's just I just don't know their motivations. I think, and it's just Paul London's like Elvis costume. It's got bell bottoms. I just don't like it, man.
Yeah, and it's like it comes with like that kind of tux and tails. That's what he kind of enters wearing.
Well, I didn't mind it when he was wearing the jacket.
I know.
As soon as he takes it off, though, it's just like, oh man, I don't know.
It's like a 80s.
It's like he's in the
circus
Bee Gees.
Performer. Yes. Really weird. And like the bookers might say this is what we're going for, kind of thing. We want you to think, but there's something about it that's not quite hitting that kind of. If you're going for like, I don't think they're aiming for like Lynchy and bizarre here, but they're kind of, they do want you to be like, oh, this means something, kind of thing. And we've, as we said, that carrot's just a carrot. Right?
Yes, that carrot is just a carrot. I'm going. I haven't closed the book on them.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Me neither. All right. Aerostar enters. He picked up the pace in this match. Really nice sidewalk slam from Mr. Cisco. Do you remember this?
No.
He just kind of flip them over. There was that fake tag spot of them kind of joking around. The commentary was really bad in this. I can't remember any particulars. Super Friends hit some nice spots, and then all of a sudden Cobra Moon's atop Dario's office again. There was a brief "Let's go Checkers" chant from the crowd.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. They kind of drowned it out, though, I think. Nice sequence to finish with Phoenix getting the bridge pin. Cobra Moon on the mic right afterwards, talking to Drago. Sooner or later, you will bow in front of your queen.
Yeah, and then it cuts. And it cuts very abruptly.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it. I like anytime Drago, Phoenix, and Aerostar are wrestling as a trio. It's for me. I like it.
They were as I said, the supporting cast in this match. Though I thought, but when they were in it, they were good.
Oh yeah.
And I just wasn't like I said. I'm 50-50 early on Rabbit Tribe.
Yeah. Well, we haven't seen them actually like encounter any kind of like storyline yet, right? So
adversity.
Yeah. So let's see what happens.
Okay. Why don't we take a quick break?
Are we taking a quick break already?
Yeah, I think so. We talked a lot early on.
Yeah, you're right. All right, let's take a quick break. Here's a message from Place to Be Nation.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Voice of Ring of Honor's Kevin Kelly here. I just want to make sure you're all subscribed to all of our great feeds here at Place to Be Nation. Now, it's really easy to do. Just head to iTunes or your preferred podcatcher app today and search for and subscribe to the Place to Be Nation wrestling feed, Place to Be Nation pop feed, Pro Wrestling Only feed, and of course, the Kevin Kelly Show feed, which includes the full archives of my podcast. Subscribe, listen, and then rate us and leave feedback today. And of course, as always, enjoy all the great action of Ring of Honor Wrestling and everything presented to you on PlaceToBeNation.com.
Place to Be Nation's JT Rosero here, and I want to let you know that we have a ton of great podcasts available to you on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and PlaceToBeNation.com, and we offer them to you across two great feeds. On the Place to Be Nation wrestling feed, you can check out Scott Criscolo and me on the Mothership, the Place to Be podcast with our famous Vintage Vault pay-per-view reviews. PTB also covers current day wrestling with the smash hit clotheslines and headlines, our steady veteran main event, and the beloved monthly pay-per-view reaction shows with immediate feedback on all Pro Wrestling Super Shows. Relive wrestling's past with our monthly pay-per-view rewind series led by Ben Morse, the always contentious Dangerous Alliance podcast, and Survey Says, a fun look back at the good, bad, and ugly of WCW. On our very popular Place to Be Nation Pop podcast feed, we offer such great shows as the Glenn Butler Podcast Hour Spectacular, Rank and File, NBA Team, Lucha Undead, Geek and Sassy, and a veritable podcast heaven for comic fans with hard-traveling fanboys, Sellers Points, Todd Weber's Conversation, and Imaginary Stories. Subscribe to both of those feeds on iTunes and rate and leave feedback for us as well. All of these shows plus others available at PlayStation.com, where we cover pro wrestling, sports, movies, comics, plus tournaments and more. Be sure to support our site by using PlayStation.com/Amazon when doing your online shopping, and download our free Place to Be Vintage Vault Refresh ebooks via the links on the right-hand side of our site. We also want to thank our friends at Bonehead's Wing Bar in West Warwick, Rhode Island, and Fall River, Massachusetts, TheHistoryOfWrestling.com, and Scott Keith's Blog of Doom. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr as well. PlayStation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
The PWO PTBN feed has changed its name. Now it will be known simply as Pro Wrestling Only, so it should be easier to find and indeed to say. All of your favourite shows are still here, including Where the Big Boys Play, Letters from Kayfabe, Titans of Wrestling, Tag Teams Back Again, This Week in Wrestling, and many, many more, including our full archives of tremendous content. So make sure you subscribe to the Pro Wrestling Only feed today.
Lucha City Nights is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Oh, that's good.
Do you like that name? Lucha City Nights?
Lucha City Nights. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's the best thing you've done so far with this. I'm still not sure if it's a sitcom or if it is it must be a sitcom if it's filmed in front of a live studio
audience. I don't know. Yeah, have to think about that. I just thought that was a nice tag to put at the beginning there.
Okay, yeah, this is your homework for next week. I want to know: are we talking about a sitcom
Genre?
here, or are we talking about an hour-long cop
Like 70s,
procedural?
yeah. Maybe something in between, like Chips, but a little more grit. There's got to be some grit to it.
Chips, but with grit.
Yeah.
I don't know what Chips.
Eric Estrada.
Oh, okay. The old show.
Larry Wilcox.
Gotcha.
Yeah, help us out, guys. Not with this, just life. Okay, next.
Down, you pasty string bean.
That would be a definite. That'd be a line from it for sure. Anyways, oh yeah, and that'd be Johnny. The way Johnny Mundo is dressed in that. If Johnny Mundo is a character, he would just we just have characters show up in individual episodes,
Yes.
playing like more kind of characters within this thing, and he'd have
Totally.
that. He'd be wearing that. Remember, he had an American flag bandana for that. That'd be part of his shtick in this show. Anyways, good God. Next vignette: 60 Star in the locker room. Enter the Mac.
I loved this.
You did?
I loved this opening.
The
Yeah,
Max
'cause it
act.
totally psyched me out. I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Like, are they going to go into a Max Sexy Star feud?" Ah! But no, they were just goofing around.
Yeah.
Just a couple of goofs.
So, Sexy Star is speaking Spanish and the Mac is speaking English, which doesn't make any sense.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I didn't notice.
Okay.
I didn't notice. They get a passing grade. A+. You know what? I give them an A+ for that. Because I was so into it.
And she tells him that she doesn't want his help. I had heard some analysis just on wrestling Twitter and beyond about this, and that makes her like a stupid baby face, right? She's dumb for not she knows the Worldwide Underground's gonna yada 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 da da da. But this is, I think she's she's got more valor and bravery and commitment to being pure than she does anything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Totally. Oh, I wouldn't falter for it. What
No.
kind of psycho is going to falter for it?
A lot of people.
God, there's
believe
some
me.
terrible people out there.
I think, and again, I think that's applying a different kind of lens to your analysis that, people who've watched wrestling a long time, it's a little more difficult to maybe take it off. I don't know. That's possible explanation. Anyways, they finished with what I thought was kind of a goofy little handshake.
Oh, I like the handshake.
The acting, the Mac is just,
Oh, I thought this was Mac's best.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, best scene.
Okay.
Yeah, because he totally was just like, that belt should be on me.
Yeah.
I was like, what? He kind of gave a look. That look was truth.
Yeah. Anyways, and that is again when we get another extended performance from the band. It's still no
wait,
name.
Hold on a second. Before we move on, the Mac at some point in this says he's going to take the whole Worldwide Underground to Slamtown.
Yeah. Did he say?
Also
No, he
says,
got Stunner Town. He called it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything else? No?
No.
From that? Okay.
I thought he was copping Johnny Mundo's bit.
I mean, that would match his, like, of stealing everybody's finishers.
Yeah.
Next match, Dante Fox versus Killshot. Right away, I really noticed Fox has a great look, great build, good
Ladies
good
love
face.
him. Ladies love him.
Yeah. An extended argument to start between the two of them.
I love that,
Yeah.
by the way. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like it recognized that they were still willing, like, at least that Killshot maybe does not want to get into a big long fight thing here, right? Like, they're still acknowledging.
Yeah. No, I understand.
They're still acknowledging the
the
complexity of it, and it's I just thought that was a beautiful touch that spoke to the history of these two characters.
Yeah. Okay. I have a feeling you like this match a little more than I did.
I loved this match. I loved it.
There was great aerial stuff from Dante Fox. Those 2 topes, but the third was stopped by Killshot. Tope, man. Tope's awesome. Tope is supposed to knock you on your fucking ass. And he's getting up after 2 and then countering the third one. That was my issue with this. There was a lot of amazing spots, but the next to zero selling from either one of the guys.
Oh, that's what I liked.
Yeah.
No,
but they would be selling later when they get to, like, their kind of slugfest and stuff. But then that's inconsistent with how is a tope not knocking you out?
Well, tope is a flying push. And so you get pushed and you just come back.
Yeah, but man, that's you got to sell flash. In Lucha, you got to sell the flash, man. I don't know. Anyway, these guys are really awesome, both of them. Crazy counters between the two. But that just going back to that tope, it buries his own tope if you're not.
But not everybody has to have like a 10 out of 10 tope, Trav.
I don't know. There's a nice dynamic. This is awesome chant. Then we start hitting. There's cutter after cutter. Holy shit chant. Killshot catches an arm lock. Killshot hits that attitude adjustment onto the apron, which was kind of just the nastiness that kind of came out of nowhere. Stomp off the top. Dante kicks out. There's a nice kind of double kip up thing that happened late in the match. That was good. Dante Fox, again, there's lots of great spots in this match. That Spanish fly out thing, and then his good finisher to win. I thought this was really showy and spotty, but had really good spots in it. And the finish, I'm not sure what this does for the feud now.
Me neither. But I think we're going to end up seeing a rematch. With a stipulation.
Here's just a straightforward match that someone it doesn't build. Someone wins clean. It doesn't build heat. It makes it 1-0. Dante.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
But this doesn't seem like a keeping score. I only went 3 stars on this just because of the. I know. I'm surprised.
Dude, that is straight up whacked. You know it, and I know it, but hey, it is what it is.
I think it could have been a lot better if they were given a little more time. But in the middle of a card like this, could have been, if this was like a main event match, especially. I know it's a mid-card feud. But I wasn't.
Dude, I
was
believe it.
I was wowed by the spots, but I didn't. That in betweens, man. In betweens.
The in betweens were the best. The best part about the whole thing was in betweens.
So. I didn't think
You're picking apart this minor thing of power leveling their moves, and this tope is here and this tope is.
But it does there's the crazy flashy stuff that would be and we've talked a long time ago in the past about how a cutter has been totally devalued in Lucha Underground. It was used so much in this. I don't know.
I'm totally fine. I thought this match was so good.
Yeah.
So well executed that
no problem with the execution.
Yeah, no.
In terms of the execution of the moves.
Oh, it was. But there was no downtime. Mm-hmm. Maybe there wasn't an overall arching narrative throughout the match, but there was these micro narratives all the way through. The tope, the second tope, then the enziguri counter.
Yeah.
All of those little counters and things like that went. they had that blow for blow in the middle of the match, which I love. I love that kind of stuff. I just felt all of the moves were I couldn't predict what was happening. There was so little. It just moved so swiftly and so cleanly. I don't know, man. I really, really love this match. This is going to be right now. This is my like hidden gem. Yeah. But I can't believe I have to say it's a hidden gem because I thought for sure that you're going to be on board with this.
Yeah. Like I said, I love the guys, and they're like crazy athletic, and that's they did stuff that nobody else can do. But I think like for something like this, you have to it needs to breathe a little, especially if you're going to start with that argument to try to build up heat. I don't think it like if you're finishing clean after the babyface his finisher didn't work.
Everything to finish clean.
It doesn't. It is. I think it was a little more. I thought the storytelling was a little more incongruous than you did. I think I use incongruous a lot on this show.
That's all right if it's appropriate.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to talk about in this, like, listen, I'm not in the business of giving stars, but I really, really enjoyed this match. The one thing that I noticed though was there was quite a bit of this, and this is prevalent in so much wrestling. So it's not a knock against these guys or this match or anything like that, but it's a knock against wrestling, I think, in general, and maybe more so the way wrestlers are trained. Because I don't think that there's this classic moment, and it happens almost in every match, where somebody goes for the pin, and their opponent kicks out, and they sit up, and they have this expression of complete shock and disbelief. That is not convincing anybody of anything. You watch real sports, when somebody makes a mistake or is surprised by something, does their mouth drop to the ground and they grab their hair and be like, I can't believe it, I never predicted it happen? No. Maybe they grimace, maybe they swear to themselves, and they keep moving. They don't stop.
I understand what you're saying. I do think there are people who can pull it off. There are.
I would show me one person. This is, if you want to back up this claim, you can give me one instance where you think okay, this is believable.
Yeah.
But if you can, I'm gonna say you can find something.
Yeah.
It's the exception that proves the rule, man.
Okay.
The rule is that it doesn't work. It doesn't work. No, it never works.
Yeah.
Kids aren't even convinced by this shit.
Yeah.
Why do they teach people to do that?
Yeah. Because you're selling to the cheap seats, and if you're playing a character that's supposed to be, how could I whatever? But I think the example that I'm thinking off the top of my head is John Cena. I think can pull it off.
No, he cannot pull it off.
He adds kind of and you can see him trying to do the equations in his head afterwards.
Yes. Okay, I know in those particular moments. Yes, I absolutely know, and that is later Cena, not like Super Cena prime.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking off the top of my head. I know exactly what you mean, man.
And it's so...
I know exactly what you mean.
Why do they do it, Trav?
That gave you...
in every wrestling school across the planet, I'm sure that they're teaching their students to do that.
I'd love to hear more. Yeah, I'd ask a little more...
so terrible.
About it. Yeah.
So terrible.
Cool. I mean, it's a good take. I mean, not cool, but it's
it's the one thing.
It's just become a trope that I've accepted. You know what I mean?
It's like the one every time. It's so easy for me to suspend my disbelief when I'm watching a wrestling match to the point where I wonder what am I like psychologically. I'm just so into wrestling and Sasquatch.
Yes.
Like, at what point do I start saying no, this isn't right?
Sasquatch.
Yeah. But anytime I see that moment where somebody springs up and is like, oh my god, this is shocking. I'm like, no, now it's like you just reminded me that this is theater.
All right.
So anyways, Dante Fox has had a real egregious one in this.
Yeah, okay. Next segment, Johnny Mundo's in Dario Cueto's office. Get a lot of heat between these guys. I'm in charge, not you. So he asked him if he got his facts from his agent/lawyer.
Yeah, that was nice.
I do like the hate between the two, but Johnny Mundo, when he said destiny, it really sounded like destiny. I want you to see if you can see if you can put that on the soundboard. There's that last exchange that was kind of like set to kind of doom, doom, doom.
Yeah,
doom, doom, doom. Yeah, it's a little.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to ask you,
cutesy.
At one point, it happens twice. Like at the end, they do the like, what did you say? What did you say? Oh, nothing. But they do that earlier in the scene as well.
Yeah.
Johnny says something, and then Dario's like,
I can't
what did
remember
you say?
what it was.
And then Johnny says, oh, just that was very smart of you.
Yeah.
But I could not make out what he said.
Yeah. I was watching it 1.5 speed the second time.
Yeah.
Next, Dario's walking down the hallway, and he's rubbing his nose. Did you notice that?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
So at this point, I mean, I think this has to be a...
like it'll come up?
Yes.
I don't know. I think it's just like I think it's something that they could... Listen, you got like
explore,
in the show Bible,
yeah,
they have something about... They have a line about it in there, but...
Okay. Black Lotus is in his office. She wants Pentagon Dark. Dario Cueto... something... they gives her... says a gauntlet match. Schedules a gauntlet match.
Yeah. So Pentagon Dark has to face all 4 of these girls?
Even if he loses to one, they still have to keep fighting them.
Okay.
So like he could beat 2, but then he'd still have 2 more that it's just like, just keeps going until he's faced all of them. So if
gotcha. So even if he wins the match, he fights it. Well, he just fights everybody.
Yeah.
He has to beat all 4.
Yeah, it's a little complicated.
I don't quite get it either.
I think so. Like, so say he wins, say he loses right away. Like they all quadruple team on him, and he loses one. It's still going on. So maybe he has to eventually pin all of them. This match could go on forever.
Yeah, I don't understand.
That might be a little more explanation.
I think we just proved it does need more explanation.
Yes. So that leads us to a Lucha Underground Championship match between Sexy Star and Johnny Mundo. I don't think they have any chemistry at all, and they had the Gift of the Gods match that was really not much different from this in terms of.
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was
really
good. I liked everything about it. I was so happy. I was enjoying this match thoroughly.
Really?
Up until the interference from the masked Taya. Yeah. I was like, this is great. This is going to be... I was convinced. I had somehow convinced myself this was going to be a clean finish.
Mm-hmm. No.
And it wasn't. And then, so as soon as masked Taya punched Sexy Star, I was deflated, man. I was like, God, why can't we just have a clean finish? Why can't Johnny Mundo just beat her? Mm-hmm. That's fine, It's still... You get the same... result. He can beat her. Like when before you realize that Taya was the plant in the audience, he grabs that woman. I just thought he grabbed a woman with a crutch, dragged her down the steps and threw her over just so he could use the crutch, and I'm like, oh, so much heat for this guy.
I knew as soon as I saw the leg brace, I knew who it was.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't that clued in, but you could have had him just do that alone and then use the crutch. Hit Sexy Star or whatever, but just that moment, if that didn't turn out to be Taya, just a plant by the production, but as far as the story is concerned, just a random person, you're gonna get enough heat on Johnny Mundo to continue with him being like a huge asshole, but you can still have him win clean.
But you could say he won with the brass knuckles before, so that was
well, that's why he needs a clean win here more than ever.
But he's a heel; he doesn't need clean wins, right?
Why can't heels just win clean? Heels have
because
to win
then
clean
it makes sexy your hero look weaker. Like you have to,
and then that's her next story, right? Then that's where it goes. Like you weren't good enough. So now what are you gonna do now? Right? This is the way these things work.
In her case, I don't know what they're gonna do with her now.
See, and so this is the thing. We don't know what it's exactly the same results that you could have had without the interference.
Yeah. I don't know. I was really not into this match. I was tuning out big time.
Oh, Trav.
I think that like the finish, like I said, it made sense because the brass knuckles are a callback. The Taya being involved, I guess, reminds you that she's and like it's on her too for making the decision to not ask for any help. But I don't know.
Wow,
that's
I'm
that.
shocked.
Here's.
I'm worried you're becoming too. I'm worried you're becoming too cynical.
Well, no. Here's what I'm concerned about. So that Aztec warfare was a moment. They had a moment. It was a real moment. Good for them. You know who else is always more about moments these days? The McMahons.
I did notice that there was some WWE camera shake.
Yeah,
in this match as well.
That's my concern, Max. Mm-hmm. I'm concerned about the direction of the show. I don't know. I could be overanalyzing things, but that's what we do.
That's why we're here.
But I don't know. I don't remember what was the first post-Aztec warfare last season.
Matanza versus
Mil Muertes right away, or no, Matanza versus Puma and Pentagon. No, I can't remember.
Phoenix, Matanza versus Phoenix.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so that felt. Well, I mean, we had somebody new there and stuff, and this is feels like a reset button to some extent.
I do hear rumblings that Sexy Star. There are obligations with her in AAA, and that this might have been a way just to keep her happy in a certain way.
Like I heard some complaints, and I'm not saying I agree or disagree with them, is like even if people saying even if you didn't like the decision to put it on her, you gotta own it and kind of go with it, right?
I agree. But I mean, in real sports, there is. I mean, people have the championship for one match, and that's it. You know, that's what happens. I'm not offended by this, and I'm certainly not convinced that that Lucha Underground has made a mistake. I thought, to be honest, this whole episode overall, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, really? You liked it more than I did. You liked it more than I did.
Yeah, the Rabbit Tribe, I mean, I'm giving, they made their in-ring debut, but we don't know anything about them. I want to see them in the vignette and understand their motivations a little bit. We're definitely coming up to Trios tournament, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So there'll be a Trios team. Who else are we going to see? The Black Lotus Triad.
Cool.
I would hope.
That'd be great.
Yeah, for sure.
We still got a long way.
And we also got medallions that now have been spread out again. Right? We have to start.
What about also there's that half of the medallion? A lot of remember that Captain Vasquez has. And,
what is going on with that? Yeah. See, there's lots of good stuff happening.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And I still just flabbergasted at you how much you did not enjoy the Dante Fox Killshot match, which I thought was fantastic. That's that's definitely my top 3 matches of the year. Hands down. And I enjoyed. I enjoyed all this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much wrestling had you watched that day before you turned this on?
None. I don't think.
Okay.
It's a Wednesday. I might have watched some of the NXT because it's exciting. I was looking for Nicole Matthews. Apparently, I think she's going to be on next week.
Oh, really?
Has a match with Asuka that they did for tapings.
Oh, for tapings.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah, that's a local ECCW talent. And she's been getting Becky Lynch put her over on Twitter the other day. That's really cool. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I was in a weird headspace.
I just find that if I can watch wrestling for about 1 hour, and I'm excited the whole way through.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I hit the 2 hour mark, it's now I'm becoming restless. Restless from watching wrestling.
Yeah. I was just going to say put a W in front of the word restless.
No. Yeah. So, I'm just saying, I would recommend just watch it fresh, baby. Don't watch it after watching 2 hours of All Japan.
Yeah. I feel like I did. But this is I halfway through watching it last night. I never watch it at 1.5 speed, but I did that at about the halfway point in this one. I think that that might say something. I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping not. Remember how excited I was last week and how much I wanted to defend the show?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just I feel like you let me down, guys.
You know what? We're also in Vancouver. There hasn't been sunshine in almost a month and a half.
Seasonal affective disorder.
So we're getting down on things.
Yeah.
You got to take that into account.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a real thing, people. It's real.
What's up next week?
Next week, we got episode 13. It's called The Breaker of Bones. Vampiro demands satisfaction from his former student. Pentagon Dark battles the Black Lotus Triad, and Dario and Matanza have different plans. I wonder if that means they have different plans from one another, or if that means they have different...
So they just can't hang out there. I'm sorry, I've got plans. I also have plans.
That's right.
So I guess we can... you'd go and take care of your plans. I have different plans.
That's right. My plans are I'm just going to sit in this cage for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to drink my face off and do some fine Colombian cocaine.
That's right. Cool. Anything else going on? Enjoyed your latest Calgary Stampede podcast.
Thanks, man. That was a lot of fun. We were laughing through a lot of that one. Just old friends. I hope to do another one of those soon. Beyond that, I had tweeted Place to Be Nation had a nice write-up of 3 different of their staff talking about Aztec Warfare 3. 3 different takes on it. It's a nice little companion piece to our episode from last week, so I would recommend checking that out.
Cool. Well, that's it for us. We'll be here next week.
The question is, will you join us?
The massage was good too. They definitely go after your butt.
Yes. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so you had it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Awesome. I had the massage. I wasn't expecting so much butt touching, but it was. It felt nice. I didn't even consider that the butt was something that needed to be massaged, but I immediately realized.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The glutes.
It's probably the most thing.